What is going on? This doesn't make any sense at all. Wow. Just wow. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Tirade TV. If you like this type of content, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. All comments are welcome as long as it's tasteful and respectful. You know how I like to do it. Let's jump right into it. Man, over the weekend, I saw a few stories out here, and I just wanted to express my opinion on them and share them with you all, and hopefully we can make sense of it. Because the more I look at these headlines, the more I realize that we are going through some crazy times if we haven't known that already. But I, I, I just don't understand some of these, to be honest with you. Like at 1 minute, you think everything is a game and people aren't taking anything seriously, really. And the next minute, you're realizing that, man, this is way serious, way more serious than what we thought it was. Uh, let's get into this one right here, because this is the first one I came across. Not quite not quite sure what to do with this one here. Vermont girls volleyball players banned from locker room after objection to transgender student report. Officials at Vermont High School are reportedly investigating whether girls harassed a transgender student. Let's check into it and see. Goes on to say female students at a Vermont high school have reportedly been banned from using the girls' locker room after objecting to a transgender student changing there. Members of the Randolph Union High School girls volleyball team were banned by school officials from using their locker room pending an investigation after some members objected to a biological male changing with them, WCAX TV reported. One of the female students told WCAX TV that the dispute began when the trans student made an inappropriate comment as the volleyball team was changing in the locker room, triggering an incident between students. So, to start off here, you have these girls, these female students at this Vermont high school, Randolph Union High School, the volleyball team. They're all in the locker room. And from what I'm gathering by the story is one of the people on the volleyball team, or one of the players on the volleyball team, is a trans student that's a biological male, but they're wanting to change in the same locker room with everyone else who's biological female. So that's where we're at now. And supposedly, according to this, allegedly, the trans person made an inappropriate comment as the volleyball team was changing in the locker room, triggering an incident between students. First of all, if you're a trans student, you're a biological male, and you're in there, first of all, you shouldn't be in there with biological females, number one. But number two, if you are, go in the corner somewhere and change yourself and keep your mouth shut, because that is very inappropriate to have a biological male in the same locker room as biological females. Goes on to say the outlet reported that school officials emailed parents to tell them an investigation into whether the transgender student was harassed has been launched. Let me stop right there. It was reported on the first page here that, or I think the second page here, that the trans student made an inappropriate comment. But the investigation is whether the trans student was harassed. Not for sure. Why couldn't it be the other way around? Why couldn't it be the trans student harassing one of the other young ladies there? Because according to the story here, it's the trans student who made an inappropriate comment, allegedly. But the investigation is against the other ladies, other young ladies in the locker room. Not quite not quite understanding that one. Maybe you all can make some sense of it for me. And I'm gonna try to find a video to this also. I know I had it up here, but quote, my mom wants me to do this interview to try to make a change, unquote. Female volleyball player Blake Allen told the outlet, quote, I feel like for stating my opinion that I don't want a biological man changing with me, that I should not have to that I should not have harassment charges or bullying charges. They should all be dropped, unquote. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, the young lady's right to feel like she should not have a biological man changing with her. It's crazy. And I wonder what I would do if my daughter was at that school and this was happening. And I would probably feel I would feel like this young lady here probably. I know my daughter would feel just like this young lady here. She would not want a biological man in the same locker room as her changing. Allen added that when students have gone to the school about their concerns, they have been told that state laws allow for transgender students to change in the locker room based on their gender identity. So basically, they have the backing of the state here saying that, okay, law says a biological male can change in the same locker room with biological females. That's crazy. Officials reportedly told parents that the school provides, quote, plenty of space where students who feel uncomfortable with the laws may change in privacy, unquote. Quote, they want all the girls who feel uncomfortable, so pretty much 10 girls, to get changed in a single stall bathroom, which would take over 30 minutes, where if one person got changed separately, it would take a minute, like no extra time, unquote, Allen told WCAX TV. Yeah, that makes sense. If you want to do this, and if it's allowed, the person that, in this situation, the transgender person, since they're the only person in there of transgender, I'm assuming by the story, yeah, they should be the one going into, first of all, like I said, I don't think they should be in there, number one. But even if they are in there, they should be the ones going into a separate place to change. Because technically, just by the sheer numbers of it, you have 10 girls, and then you have this one transgender person, this man, biological man. That biological man should be over in another room somewhere changing. That's crazy, man. I feel bad for these girls because they're right. They shouldn't have to be going through this. It's a shame um, what kids now are having to go through just to go to school or just to play sports. What they're having to face. Like I know when I was in school, playing sports and just in the classroom, we didn't have to go through this. There was no biological, female wanting to come in with the boys and playing football, or there was no biological male that I'm aware of that was on the girls volleyball team. It just didn't happen. I don't understand, man. People, they're doing too much right now. School officials did not immediately respond to a request for comment from Fox News Digital. Of course, they're not. They're not going to say much about this. Vermont Agency of Education Policy states that the use of restrooms and locker rooms by transgender students requires schools to consider numerous factors, while also stating that a transgender student should not be required to use a locker room or restroom that conflicts with the student's gender identity. Yeah, that's some stupid stuff, man. I mean, it's the law, it's the policy, but come on. I'm pretty sure the majority of this school is still what we call heterosexual or straight. And I would say in this situation, the majority of those students should continue as usual. If you want to decide to become someone, the opposite sex, and you identify yourself as the opposite sex, then yeah, you should be made to change in a separate locker room, because at this point you're probably the minority at this point. It's crazy. I don't know what's going on. And the thing about it is, this biological male probably getting out there dominating on the volleyball court because they're biological male. There's certain parts but the biological male's body is naturally stronger in most cases. Not saying that, you know, women are weak, because people will take that the wrong way. What I'm saying is, in most cases, in most instances, biological males are stronger, just naturally stronger than biological females. It's crazy, man. I don't understand what I really have no words, to be honest with you. Have no words at all, to be honest with you. I just mm. But that's what we're facing right now. In every state, at least, probably there's probably one school or one school district that's cool with this. That's saying, yeah, you're a biological male, and it's okay for you to go and participate in sports with biological females, competing against and on the same team as biological females. Oh, and by the way, yeah, it's also okay for you to be in the same locker room, getting dressed and undressed with biological females. That I think, man, like I said, I if my daughter was in a situation, I would be upset. Just to be honest with you, it's not that I hate anyone, but that's not right. Anyways, what do y'all think about that? Let me know in the comments. It's this is what it's coming to right now. We need to pray against these things, because if we're waiting on leadership to fix it, especially our current leadership in this country, that's not going to happen. They they're it's a whole another level of evil going on right now. This next one, I don't know what's worse. The first story we just talked about, or this next one. None of this should be going on right now. None of it. But I'm looking here at this story here. It's according to Fox News. It says season over for California high school football team whose members acted out slave auction. Mm, that's I don't understand, man. This is I have no words. Like, I'm literally speechless on this one. And my first question with this, before I even get into the story, is, first of all, I'm assuming that there are some black players on the team. And my question would be, since blacks are considered to be the only slaves in history, there had to be some black players who voluntarily went along with this. I mean, did the rest of the football team, did the rest of the white players on the football team tie them up and make them do it, or what? Because there had to be someone going along with it. I mean, I don't think anyone was forced to do this. I mean, did the coach come out and say, "Oh, if you don't do it, you're not going to play. You're kicked off the team"? What? Like, this all seemed like it was done on a voluntary basis by both the black and the white students, or the black and the white players, and maybe even the coaches, allegedly. Um, let's look at this story, man, because I don't understand. Reprehensible act violated student athletic code of conduct, superintendent says. You think? Members of a California high school football team acted out a slave auction, the district superintendent told a local media outlet. Yuba City Unified School District Superintendent Doreen Osumi said it was a reprehensible act after the district received a video Thursday of the incident involving members of the River Valley High School football team. The football team forfeited this past week's game, KTXL reports. The players involved will also not be playing the rest of the season, causing the varsity team's season to be over due to lack of players. Quote, they violated our student athlete code of conduct, which they all signed and committed to follow, and that will not be ignored or minimized, unquote, a statement from the superintendent read. The junior varsity team will continue with their season. Sophomores and juniors from the varsity team that are still eligible to play can join the JV team to finish the season if they would like. Quote, reenacting a slave sale as a prank tells us that we have a great deal of work to do with our students so they can distinguish between intent and impact. They may have thought the skit was funny, but it is not. It is unacceptable and requires us to look honestly and deeply at issues of systematic racism, unquote, the statement added. The commissioner for the Sac Joaquin section of the California Interscholastic Federation also released a statement to the TV station calling the incident, quote unquote, unfortunate. Quote, last night we were notified by a representative from the Yuba City Unified School District of a situation involving the RVHS football team. This is truly an unfortunate incident, and the CIF SJS is providing whatever support RVHS YCUSD needs, unquote, the statement read. Like I said, my first thought when I saw this was you have, and allegedly, this is all allegedly, by the way, we don't know. They could be blowing this. It may not, I haven't seen a video on it. So I'm just going by what the story says. Until I see a video, it's still a little hard for me to believe. But I know that there's a video out there somewhere in the internet world. But will it be made public? I don't know. But everyone had to go along with this. The white football players and the black football players, or any other race of football players that was represented there. They had to go along with it. So I don't know if you can necessarily be mad at the white students without being mad at the black students who went along with it. I think they're both equally responsible. And it is a shame because that's serious. That's a part of history that most people, that offends most people. So I don't understand what the issue is here, why they did it, especially in today's climate, today's social climate. I don't understand why they would do it. And of course, you have some guys, according to the article, that weren't involved with it. The varsity's team is over, and they have the option to play with the JV team. Me personally, I think if possible, I would go live with a relative, especially if you have a future in football and a possible scholarship. Maybe I would go live with a relative and transfer schools. I don't know if I would go play with the JV team. I just don't know if I would do that. If I'm a varsity player who has a great future in football or a decent future in football and possible scholarship to go play college football, don't know if I would go back down and play with JV, honestly. But this is what certain political parties want right now. They want things like this to be publicized. And there's stupid people out there. Yeah, I said it. Stupid people out there who are helping them along with their agenda by doing stupid, idiotic things like this. Now, would you say the people who were involved in it were racist? Well, no, you can't say that because obviously there are black people involved. Wow. I can tell you this. This is you know what though? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think we would have done this in my high school growing up. But there were a lot of things that were off limits, but I don't think we would have done this. Like we may have said some things or done some things, that raised eyebrows or heck, maybe even got us suspended. But this, I don't think we would have done it. I don't the white kids, where I'm from wouldn't have done this. and the black kids definitely wouldn't have volunteered to be a part of it. So I don't understand why this is even happening right now. Anyways, what do you all think about that? Those are the two stories there that stood out to me the most. The female volleyball students getting banned from their locker room because of a transgender student, a biological male. They stood up to him. They had all right to. They're basically saying, no, we don't feel comfortable changing the locker room with a biological male. And now they're getting investigated for harassment. Man, that's good. When it was actually, according to the article, allegedly the trans student that made the inappropriate comment. How things have changed. And then, of course, you have the quote unquote slave auction with the California high school football team, who I'm assuming, like I said, multiple races, at least two, if not multiple races of football players volunteered to take part in. Now, I don't know if the coaches knew about it. I didn't see the video yet. I'm pretty sure it's out there in the internet world somewhere. If I find it, I will definitely watch it, and I may watch it. I don't know. It may be just too stupid, too silly to even watch, but we'll see. I don't understand what's going on in this world, in this country right now. That's why you always hear me say we need to. It's a spiritual war. It's a spiritual war going on right now, and at times it seems like the evil is winning. But if you know, the good is always going to overcome. Will always overcome, and that's what we have to continue to keep faith in and trust, and keep fighting. Keep fighting for good. And by saying fighting, I'm not advocating violence, anything like that. I'm just saying keep fighting for good. Don't give up. Because if you give up, it's like the other team wins by forfeit, right? Kind of like this football team had to forfeit the rest of their season. It's crazy. Anyways, thank you all for joining, listening. That's all I have for you today. Uh, please like, share, subscribe, comment. This video is being brought to you by TiradeTV.com. Please go in, select a t-shirt, buy a t-shirt. Have some hoodies out there now. This is actually one I have on right here. I can stand up a little bit, but it's called a line of defense. You can see a line there, dressed, ready for battle. So check that one out. It's good quality, and it basically makes a statement that we are going to defend ourselves no matter what. It's our right to defend ourselves. We will do it. And as I always say, we must be a praying people and a praying nation. See you. Oh yeah, that'll work. That's a clean t-shirt right there. That is a clean t-shirt right there. Oh yeah. Line of defense right there. Oh yeah.